So we're going to start in Virasana, and we're going to take the block between the ankles. I like to do it on the wide edge, so I have a nice wide base for my hips, and then just put it between your ankles and sit down on the block. If you feel like that is too high, the middle edge, you can go lower with it flat, or you can go taller. In that case, you might want 2 blocks so that, again, you have that nice wide base. And then you can move the calves out to the side. Sit back and let the hands just rest comfortably in the lap. And close your eyes. And take a moment to settle in. And as you feel your awareness shifting from the external to the internal, begin to follow your breath. Just observing it without really trying to change it. Notice it coming in with ease and grace. Notice it going out very comfortable, relaxed. And as you're watching the breath in this way, begin to feel it smoothing itself out so that there's no bumps or catches in the breath in any way. Just a smooth transition between inhale and exhale. Not even a pause at the top or bottom of the breath. Just continual. And as you create this smooth breath, you may begin to notice it becoming more even. And if you find there is a preference of either inhale or exhale, see if you can balance that out. And it might be helpful for a few rounds just to count the breath. So say, for instance, you're breathing in for a count of 5, then breathe out for a count of 5. As you're breathing in, see if you can find just where the very edge of the breath begins, just to present itself. And then as you exhale, just find the very edge of the exhalation. It's just like that moment of exchange at the top of the inhale before exhalation begins, at the bottom of the exhale before inhalation begins. Not trying to push or change or grow the breath yet, just continuing that steady rhythm. Keep relaxing, keep smoothing it out, and create what we call circular breathing. Again, that inhale flowing into the exhale, flowing into the inhale. Now, if you'd like, for the next few rounds, see if you can stretch the breath. So we were beginning to observe that very edge, the top of the inhalation. See if you can grow into that just a bit. No force, no strain. And then same thing on the exhalation. So when you get to the bottom of the breath, first finding that edge, and then see if you can allow just a greater relaxation, a greater exhalation. And then beginning your inhale again. Continuing that smooth breathing. Just a little bit more expansive. And as you're growing the breath, it begins to show itself as possibility. We enter into the territory that maybe we're not as familiar with. Because typically the mind will cause you to breathe in a way that you are most familiar, most comfortable. But as we bring in that conscious intention to expand or stretch the breath, we start to enter into new territory, new possibility. And anytime we go into new territory or new possibility, we gain greater and new perspective. And sometimes that change, that new perspective, can be a little scary. It's something we're not familiar with. The mind can often have the reaction of being a little apprehensive. At the same time, too, as we gain that new or greater perspective, it can also be exciting. Perhaps there's things there, gifts, that we have yet to explore, yet to realize. And so we're going to work a little bit with that perspective exchange, that ability to find new possibility. Specifically working with inverting the body. We'll do it in a very gentle and safe way, but just to explore what it's like to look at the world upside down. Different than we've ever seen it before, different than our mind or what our mind knows. So last breath here. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart and let your thumbs touch your sternum, bow your head to your hands. So we'll set that as the intention for our practice today. And if there's anything that you have going on specifically in your personal life, perhaps new information that's causing a perspective change or new territory that you're entering into, and you want a little bit of guidance around that, you want to embody that understanding just a little bit more, then bring that into your intention here and state it personally. And then place it in the heart where we can surround it with unconditional love and compassion, understanding that all change, all growth takes time to integrate. And just being patient with ourselves. Now let's begin the practice with a chant of Om 3 times. Please remember there's 3 parts, the A, O, and The A vibrating the lower portion of the spine, the O vibrating the middle portion, and the vibrating the upper portion. So deep inhale in. And then long exhale out. Nice and calm, relaxed breath. And another deep inhale in. Just lower your chin to your chest. Let your hands come down to your lap. Keep your eyes closed. And just take your right ear to your right shoulder. So opening up that left side of the neck. Exhale, chin to chest, and then left ear to left shoulder. Opening up the right side of the neck. And then just go back and forth, inhaling right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And then just keep going back and forth. And as you're doing it, if you find a spot that feels really tender or there's a lot of sensation, just stay there for an extra moment or two. And then move on to the other side and feel some of that releasing, not by avoiding the sensation, but rather by bringing your attention directly into it. You may begin to notice that it begins to subside with our conscious vision, our conscious watching. And then last breath here. And we'll come back to center with the chin to the chest. And then just bring the head to neutral and gently open the eyes. Gaze directly over your right shoulder, just twisting the neck in that way. A little bit different. And now come back to neutral and gaze directly over your left shoulder. Do that again. Come back to neutral. Gaze directly over the right shoulder. And then back to neutral and gaze directly over the left shoulder. One more here. Coming back to neutral, draw the chin to the chest, interlace the fingers behind the back of the head, and let the elbows hang. So you can imagine that there's weights attached to the elbows. Don't let them lift up in the air. Make sure they're hanging down, so elbows are pointing down. And now dip your right elbow lower than your left. So you're twisting the neck. Breathe into that. And now switch. Dip your left elbow lower than your right. And twisting the neck in the other direction. So I think of like the justice weights. See one side going down lower than the other. And then see the other side going down. And just keep going back and forth, opening up the back of the neck in this way. Very gentle. Last one here. And then go back to neutral, release the hands, and come back into a neutral spine. Take the block out from between the legs and come into tabletop position. Hands directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed down. Extend one leg back and stretch out through the heel so that you're opening up the back of the leg, getting some blood flow there, and then switch and do the other side. And then keep going back and forth a couple times, opening up the backs of the legs. Very nice. Okay, so hands directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed down. Inhale, lift heart, lift sit bones, look up. Exhale, draw the navel towards the spine, push deeply into the hands, knees, and feet, and open up the back side of the body. Repeat that again. Inhale, the heart lifts, the sit bones lift. Keep a little lift in the lower belly to protect the lower spine. And then exhale, press down deeply into the earth, opening up the back side of the body. And keep going with your breath, inhaling, exhaling. Remember that smooth circular breathing. Inhale, flowing right into exhale, flowing right into inhale. Good. Two more if you'd like. You can have that gentle ujjayi sound so you can hear the breath. It's that ocean wave or whisper type sound that sounds like you're fogging up a mirror. Last one, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. And then as we exhale and take the navel to the spine, this time we're going to round out, draw back, and move all the way to child's pose. Reach your arms as far forward as they'll go. Come up onto your fingertips and lift your inner palm, forehead to the floor. Now continue to pull the tips of the shoulder blades down your back so that you feel that the shoulder heads move deeper into their sockets. And then place the palms flat, relax the elbows, and soften the upper body. Good. Walk your hands to the right side. Press your left sit bone down, bow the rib cage. Breathe into any areas of sensation. Again, letting that inhale go in there. Open it up. Bring your conscious awareness there. And exhale helps to release it, to let it go. And then come back to center and walk over to the left side. Let your right sit bone bow. Let your right rib cage open up. Relax the right shoulder. Send your breath into sensation. And then come back to center. And if the knees aren't together, make sure they're together now. Bring your hands behind you. Grab onto your heels and tuck your chin into your chest and roll up onto the crown of your head. So this is your Sasangasana rabbit pose. It begins to give us that stimulation at the crown, a little bit of a perspective shift here as we're slightly inverted. And then breathe, keep pulling the navel towards the back body on exhalation. And then take the sit bones back to the heels. Interlace your fingers into Yoga Mudra. Take the knuckles up and away from you and do it again. Roll back onto the crown of the head. So with the hands in this position, we get a little more height there. Maybe you can roll up to the very tip of the crown, which is about 2 fingers behind the middle of the top of the head. One more breath here, stretching out those shoulders. Should feel really good. And now we're going to bring the sit bones back to the heels, pull the knuckles back behind us, and sit tall. Lift the chin for a moment, stretch the front of the neck. And now take your hands to your right waist. And as you take them to the right waist, pull your right elbow back. And now tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. So we're just getting a little bit more space there for the neck. Feel that opening there for the wrist as well as you hold that bind. And then come back to neutral with the head. Pull the hands back behind you in Yoga Mudra again. And now take them to the left waist. Pull the left elbow back and tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Feel all that space. If there's tension there, breathe into it. Keep hugging the ribs towards the back body on exhalation so we're not overarching the lower back. One more full Ujjayi breath here. And then come back to neutral. Pull the knuckles back in Yoga Mudra one more time, and then just let the arms come to the lap. And feel all that sensation move down the arms to the fingertips. Good. We're going to come back into tabletop position again. And bring the elbows down into your mat. So elbows come down, wrap your hands around the middle part of the arms. This helps you to measure out. And then we're going to interlace the fingers. Press the forearms down. And if you could take that little pinky finger that's digging into the earth, tuck it inside the hand. This is the same position that we'd be using if we were doing the headstand. So we want to keep the arms in this position today for dolphin. Tuck your back toes under, lift your sit bones up and back, and come into dolphin or forearm down dog. Breathing here. Now bend one knee and press the other heel down. Open up the back of the leg. And then bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And just shift back and forth a few times. As you do that, just feel the sweet release through the backs of the legs. Sometimes moving quickly feels better. Sometimes moving slowly feels better. And then hold your down dog static, feet about hip distance apart, toes turned in slightly, heels out. Roll your inner thighs in and back, allow your sit bones to spread. So as you press down through your forearms, you're creating space in the shoulders, giving some room there for the joint. Head and neck is really just hanging. Each time you exhale, the navel hugs in and up underneath the rib cage, creating a little more stability there for the core. Now you may build some heat here with the shoulders. Notice that opening. And again, you're inverted, so you may notice that perspective shift. What comes up for you when you're seeing the world from a completely different angle. Maintain that smooth breathing. One more here. And then bring the knees down to the floor. Take the sit bones to the heels, round the upper back, hands toward the heels. Feel everything melt and soften. So if there's tension in those shoulders, just feel some of that heat, releasing it. And then we're going to come forward again, do the same thing, and build a little more strength. So wrap your hands around the middle part of the arms, interlace your fingers, take that bottom pinky finger, tuck it into the hands, press down through the forearms, tuck the back toes under, and come back to dolphin. So you can just stay here, especially if you're newer to yoga and you're just starting to build some shoulder strength. This would be really good. Otherwise, if you want to go a little stronger, you're going to wiggle the toes back 3-4 inches. As you exhale, take your chest over your forearms, tailbone under, lower belly lifts. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, chest over forearms, tailbone under, lower belly lifts. Inhale, come up. And keep going at your pace. And as you're moving through these dolphin push-ups, notice the strength for the shoulders, for the core. All of this will be necessary to safely invert the body. Couple more here, nice and strong. Whenever you are ready to come down, you can bring the knees to the floor, take the sit bones to the heels, and go back to that embryo pose we did just a moment ago. Rounding the upper back, everything softens here, forehead to the earth. You're going to bring the arms forward into tabletop position, tuck the back toes under, and lift the sit bones up and back for for downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, the feet and legs are the same as they are in dolphin, but in the upper body here, we have to roll the shoulder heads away from the ears, squeeze the inner arms toward one another, and press firmly through the web of the index and thumb. Head and neck is relaxed. As you anchor into hands and feet, feel the apex here of your triangle reaching up just a little higher towards the heavens. So gaze is directly between the ankles, or you can gaze up at the abdomen. But again, here's this perspective shift of being inverted. So even in downward facing dog, we're starting to move things in a different direction. And one more full breath here, Ujjayi. And then rise up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, and step forward to your fingertips. Open your feet hip distance apart, and just come into standing forward fold for a moment. A little micro bend in the knee, let the upper body really hang over the legs. And so you can either have your hands on your shins, we're going to slide up and down that way, or you can hook the index middle thumb around your big toe, so whatever is more comfortable for you. On your inhale, you're either sliding the hands up the shins or binding to the feet as you pull the chest away from the thighs, straighten arms, straighten spine, and only if you can, straighten legs. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, relax the head and neck. Good. Dynamic monkey. Inhale, pull away, elongate that front body, get as much space as you can. And then exhale, navel hugs the back body as you melt back over the legs. Good. Keep going. Inhaling, exhaling at your pace. Remember, we want to create as much room and space as possible, so pull the tips of the shoulder blades down the back. And then exhale, the navel hugs in. Micro bend the knees if you need them. Ujjayi breathing. Nice, smooth, not strained. Good. One more complete round. Inhaling, pull forward. And then exhale. Stay in the standing forward fold and now grab onto either elbow. Let that provide some traction for the spine. Feel your feet. So feel the root of the big toe and the inner arch of the foot activated as much as you feel the heel and the outer side of the foot. Perhaps noticing some sensation coming up through the inner legs, through the inner thighs,
to the pubic bone. Upper body continues to hang and just soften from the stability of the legs and feet. Again, here too, noticing that we are inverted. Soft gaze with the eyes. And then one last time, we're going to interlace the fingers into Yoga Mudra. Take the knuckles up and away from you to stretch out those shoulders. And then pull the knuckles back and slowly start to scoop the heart as you press down into the earth through the feet and come all the way up to standing. Again, we're going to lift the heart, lift the chin, so without collapsing the back of the neck. And then just let the arms go, the head go, and come for a moment into Samastiti, just standing mountain pose. And absorb what you've just done. One last breath here. So we're going to build a little more heat, but we're going to do it with half sun salutation C. So because it's a half sun salutation, we'll end up doing 6 rounds on the right and 6 rounds on the left. Hands together in front of your heart. Either their big toes are touching with the space between your heels or feet are hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Step the right leg back, lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Head and neck is relaxed. Inhale, arms out wide as you lift and rise. Palms touch. And exhale down the center line, hands to the heart. Let's do the other side. Inhale, arms out wide as you lift and rise. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Left leg goes back. Lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Head and neck is relaxed. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise, all the way up, palms touch. And then exhale down the center line, hands to the heart. That's one complete round. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Step the right leg back, lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale, low lunge, arms reach. Exhale, step forward, standing forward fold. Head and neck is relaxed. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, palms touch. And exhale, hands to the heart. Left side, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. So now we're going to change the arm position. You're going to inhale from the front, arms reach overhead. Try to keep a flat back as you exhale, forward fold, lengthening over the legs. Step the right leg back, lower the knee down, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold, interlace your fingers into Yoga Mudra, take them up and away. Now this time you're going to bend your knees, scoop through a chair, come all the way into standing extension, arms forward and up. And then exhale, hands to heart, down the center line. Do that again. Inhale the arms from the front. Exhale, forward fold. Try to keep that flat back. As you fold over the legs, left leg goes back, lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold, but interlace your fingers into Yoga Mudra, knuckles up and away. Bend your knees, scoop through chair, come all the way into standing extension. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Again, arms from the front. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back, lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. This time, see if you can step forward without touching your fingertips to the floor. So using a little more core strength, interlace Yoga Mudra. Bend and scoop, come through. All the way into standing extension. And exhale, hands to heart. And left side. Inhale from the front. Exhale, fold. Left leg goes back, lower knee. Inhale, reach. Again, see if you can step forward without touching your fingertips to the floor, using your core strength. Interlace Yoga Mudra as you fold. Inhale, bend your knees, scoop through chair. Come all the way into standing extension. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale, reach from the front. Exhale, fold, flat back. Right leg back, low lunge, inhale. Exhale, step forward. See if you can do it without touching. Inhale, come through. Exhale, heart. Left side, inhale. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, step through. Inhale, scoop all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. And we'll just stay here, keeping the hands at the heart or bring them down by your side. Once again, finding samastiti, just observing. Noticing that there's some warmth generated from that, even though we're not doing a chaturanga or an ashtangasana. Noticing the repetition, creating more flexibility for the body. Each round a little easier. One more breath here. Very nice. So starting at the front of your mats, big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. So inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. So step your left leg back and stay in a high lunge position. So fingers in a finger stand, front shin bone reaching away from the back heel. Get nice and stable through the legs. So squeeze those inner thighs like there's a block between them. And as you push down into the earth, bring the arms up forward from the front. And then stabilize here for a few moments. We'll deepen the back bend here in what they sometimes call crescent. And inhaling, lift the heart a little higher. Exhale, relax your shoulders into their socket. Again, inhale, lift a little higher. Maybe you can take the gaze up. Exhale, relax the shoulders into their socket. Inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale. 2 more. Even if you're just getting like 1/4 of an inch of space each time, feel that lift in the pelvic floor for support, so don't sink in your joints. And then inhale, lift as high as you can. Exhale, come down over that front foot. Wiggle your toes back as far as you can. Lower the knee down, top of the foot. Those of you that need to and need extra padding, you're going to flip your mat over and have that placed down. Walk your right toes out so that they line up with the front knee as the knee bends. So it might be just a slight angle. And take both hands on the inside of the leg. Palms are flat here. Press into that hip. So just feel a little bit of extra depth that comes into the posture. Noticing the body, its flexibility today could be different than it was yesterday. Those of you that are feeling really comfortable here, hip is nice and open, try taking the forearms to the floor. You can interlace the fingers and let the head and neck relax. So gazing can be at the navel center or the back knee. Now allow that hip to open. Keep stretching into it. Breathe. Notice where there's resistance. Relax into the breath. Head and neck is relaxed. We have that perspective shift. Once again. Very nice. Now you're going to come back up. And this time, plant your left hand down. Take your right hand to your thigh, and you're going to open up the foot like you're opening up the page of a book. So roll to the outside edge of the foot. Press into the knee. So you're just going to create a little bit of a deeper stretch there for the hip. Gazes over the right shoulder. Mindful of your joints. Breathe deeply. Listen to those edges and honor them. One more. Very nice. Unwind that foot back so it goes back to neutral. If you need to straighten it out again, please do. Tuck your back toes under. If your mat was flipped, unflip it. Fingers on either side of the foot now. Plant your left hand down. Take your right hand to the outside of your right thigh. Rotate it down and take the navel to the right. And bring the right arm up in the air and come into this spinal twist here. So navel hugs the back body. Gaze up at the right hand. Outer right hip is rotating down, left thigh is strong, and lifting that outside of the left hip up just a bit as the pelvic floor engages. A couple more breaths here. Very nice. And then bring the fingertips to the floor and just step the back foot forward, coming into standing forward fold. Soften over the legs for a moment. Hands on the earth or fingertips in alignment with the toes. Inhale halfway to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment to just feel. And we'll do the other side. Inhale the arms from the front. Exhale, flat back as you forward fold. This time we're going to step the right leg back. Coming into high lunge here, a little bit different side. You're going to push the shin bone away from the back heel. Still hug those inner thighs toward the midline of the body, so get nice and firm there through the legs. When you feel strong, stable, bring the arms up and over the head. So again, we're going to work with this crescent here, a little bit of a back bend. So you're inhaling through the front body, opening up, creating length. Exhale, shoulders soften into their socket, back muscles engage. Inhale, open and lengthen the front body a little more. Exhale, relax the upper back. Gaze can go up a little higher. Inhale. Exhale. Just don't collapse the back of the neck. 2 more breaths. Body moves with the rhythm of the breath. Very nice. Now we're going to come forward over that front leg. Wiggle those back toes back as far as they'll go. If you need that padding, flip that knee over. Top of the foot comes down. Now, walk the left toes out to a slight angle so that when you bend the knee and the toes are in the same alignment. Hands go on the inside of the foot. We're going to allow some of that weight to go down into the hips, stretching into the hip flexors. Breathe deeply here. Navel hugs the back body on exhalation. If you've got flexibility, bring those forearms to the floor. Gaze either at your abdomen or your back knee. Head and neck is relaxed. Two more breaths here. So keep giving into the sensation. Let it open up. And then you can take the hands back on the inside of the foot. Plant the right hand down. Left hand goes to the outside of the thigh. And again, you're going to open up that foot like you're opening up the page of a book. Navel rotates slightly to the left. Gaze over the left shoulder. And just opening up the hip in a slightly different direction. Breathe here. Nice, smooth Ujjayi breathing. Relax. Let the mind soften into the sensation. Don't fight against it. Very nice. And then we're going to bring that foot flat. Again, we want to heel toe it in so it's nice and straight, hands on either side of the foot. Undo your mat, tuck the back toes under, and come into high lunge one more time. This time we're planting the right hand down under the shoulder. Take the left hand to the outside of the left thigh and rotate it open. Then the left arm lifts up and moving into gentle spinal twist. So as the outer left hip rotates down, engage the right quad, so hug the muscle to the bone. Lift that right hip just a little higher, so we're not sinking in the joint in any way. And then keep rotating open. Allow that upper body to soften. Gaze up at the left hand if it's comfortable. Ujjayi breathing. One more here. And then bring the hand down. Step your back foot up to meet your front foot. Standing forward fold, just hang over the legs. Soften everything, head and neck is relaxed. Keep that micro bend in the knee if you need it. Full, complete Ujjayi breaths. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Just take a moment here. Again, finding Samastiti, standing mountain pose, and just observe the changes that have happened on the right and left sides of the body. Do we feel a little more balanced? Are we tapping into some of that warmth, some of that heat, which we know is transformative? Okay, so we're going to do just a little vinyasa here at the front of the mat. So have your feet hip distance apart or just slightly wider. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Turn your toes out, heels in. Come down into squat. Elbows on the insides of the knees, palms pressed together. Exhale, turn the toes back in, standing forward fold. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, arms reach from the side. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Turn the toes out, heels in. Inhale into squat, press into the palms. Exhale, toes back in, standing forward fold. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise. Palms touch. And exhale, hands to heart. So now try that from the front. Inhale the arms from the front. A little more challenging here to exhale. Keep that back flat as you forward fold. Turn the toes out, heels in. Inhale into squat. Press those knees apart. Exhale, turn the toes back in, standing forward fold. Again, this time, arms in alignment with the ears. Try that flat back as you come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart. Inhale the arms from the front again. Flat back, so head, neck, torso, tailbone in a straight line as you come down. Toes out, heels in, inhale to squat. Exhale, toes back in, standing forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Keep those arms in alignment with the ears. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, one more like that. Inhale from the front. Exhale, forward fold. And now stay in the forward fold and turn the fingers so that they point towards one another. A little bit of a bend in the elbow. Tops of the hands are pressing down into the earth. And now just make small little fists with your hands. Just these small little fists, looking at it from this shifted perspective, being inverted. Feel that sensation there. You can bend your knees as much as you need to make this comfortable. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to point our fingers behind us. And now sink your hips back and lean into the stretch for the wrists. So I'm going to stretch into those forearms. Even though the palms are grounded, push the inner wrist forward towards the front of your mat. And then slowly release that. You can just give a little gentle shake there to the wrists. And now let's try that cobra or that crow pose where we have the hands nice and wide. The inner palm is like a suction cup. Bring your body weight forward, take your knees right into your upper arms, and then your shin bone rests on the upper arm. And then as you bring your body weight forward, try just lifting one foot first. And then try lifting the other. And then if you're feeling comfortable, see if you can balance, bringing that body weight forward and lift both at the same time. Core is strong, gaze is steady. Lift that inner palm, free up the neck and shoulders, and then bring the feet back down, standing forward fold. If you need to shake out the wrists again, please do so. And press into the feet, arms out wide as you lift and rise, all the way up Take your time. We were down for a while. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Okay. So we're going to do another little balance here. Starting with the right foot onto mid-thigh. Flex the foot. Bring your hands to your heart. So just like chair pose, we're going to sit back. Allow those hips to reach behind us like we're about to sit in a chair. Flex the right foot and imagine you have a weight attached to your right knee. So allow that knee to grow heavy. Feel the outside of the hip opening up, so it feels very similar to our pigeon pose when we do it on our back. Breathe into the space. Keep letting the heart move forward. Relax the shoulders, so no tension in the upper back, neck, face, or jaw. Go ahead, one more here. And then slowly come back up to standing. Have the feet hip distance apart, arms down by the side, just rest. Good, other side. Weight into the right foot, left foot to mid-thigh, flex the foot. Hands into prayer. Begin to sit back just like you were sitting back in a chair. Navel hugs the back body as you go down. So as you flex the left foot, you're giving a little more protection there for the left knee. And then imagine a weight attached to that knee. Just let it sink down. Breathe deeply here. Ujjayi breathing, steady your gaze, either at the floor or the horizon, whatever's more comfortable for you. Keep letting that hip open. And then slowly come up. Take your time. If you need to rotate the ankles at all, please do so. And then find your standing mountain pose. One more breath here. So we're going to take a traditional vinyasa. We haven't done one yet, so we'll modify. Either big toes touching, space between the heels, or feet hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose with a flat back. And exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. So this first round, we'll modify by bringing knees to floor. Squeeze the elbows tight till the belly comes down. Tops of the feet ground. Now inhale, cobra pose. And we're going to modify here by doing a few rounds. Exhale, turn your cheek to one side and come down. Inhale, cobra again. Push into pubic bone. Knees and feet. Pull elbows and shoulders back. Exhale, turn your cheek to the other side. Inhale. Opening up that front body. Exhale, turn your cheek. Use the strength of the back more than you're using the hands. Lift up again. Exhale, turn the cheek. And last one, we're going to inhale, just look forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And take 5 full breaths here in down dog. Remember the legs and feet are the same as dolphin. Just roll the shoulders ahead, away from the ears. Squeeze the inner elbows toward one another. Press firmly through the web of your index and thumb. Smooth breathing. Very nice. Bring your knees to the floor. Sit tall on your heels for just a moment. And we'll rest by resting the hands in the lap. And what you want to feel is that your prana is settled. So not only is your breath stable and comfortable, but then the energy that is within the breath, rides along the breath, and even the energy of the mind, the chitta prana, is all feeling stable and balanced. And then we'll bring the hips to one side, legs out in front of us, and do some preparation for our inversion. So we're going to come onto our backs to start, preparing with bridge. Bring the feet flat, knees bent. Maybe you can lightly touch the heels with your fingertips. Arms down by your side to start. Pressing into the feet equally, slowly roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhale and slowly come down. Navel to the spine as you release. Now we're going to move the arms with this. So inhale the right arm up as you lengthen. Keep that arm over the head as you exhale and come down, and feel a little bit more length along the side body. Inhale, roll up again. And then bring the arm and the spine down at the same rate. Again, navel to spine. Let's do the other side. Inhale the left arm up, roll up through your spine. Keep the arm overhead as you exhale and roll back down, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, roll up again, nice and slow. And then exhale, the arm and the spine come down at the same rate. Good, one with both arms. So inhaling both arms up and over the head, rolling up here. Keep them over the head as you exhale and roll down. And again, feel that length along your side bodies as you reach the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, roll up again, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhale, the arms and the spine come down at the same rate. Good. This time we're going to hold on to the outside edges of our mat. And as you roll up through bridge, you're going to take your shoulders underneath you so that you have that nice lift, and then pull on the outsides of the mat, letting the inner elbow rotate up towards the ceiling. So this helps to create that firm base for the body. It encourages that deep rotation of the shoulder heads underneath. And then lift the chin just a little bit so you're honoring that natural curve in the back of the neck. We do want to create the flexion for the neck, but we don't overstress it. So shoulder stand is a preparation for headstand. If we don't want to do shoulder stand and headstand in the same practice, then we can use bridge pose here. Just a few more breaths. Keep engaging the legs. Don't let the knees splay out. Use the breath to lift higher. Use the exhalation to create more stability. One more here. And then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Slide the shoulders out, release the grip on the mat, and then widen the feet. Let the knees fall into one another and just rest. If you prefer, sometimes it's nice just to place your hands on your abdomen. And take a moment here to rest. Again, we want to feel not just the breath settled, but the mind settled, the prana settled. And when your breath returns to normal, we'll prepare for an inversion. So I'm going to give 3 options. We've already done them. So roll up into a seated position and then come into tabletop. So to get that stimulation for the crown of the head, first option is to go back to child's pose like we did before. Interlace your fingers into yoga mudra and roll up into the crown of the head in that variation of rabbit pose. So this is really nice for building some neck strength. We get the stimulation at the crown, and we are inverted. Okay. Option number 2 has a few variations to it. It's to go back into that dolphin where we wrap the hands around the middle part of the arms, interlace the fingers, take the pinky finger underneath, tuck the back toes under, and lift the sit bones up and back. But instead of staying in a long dolphin here, as you press through the forearms, keeping space in the shoulders, you can walk your feet in and come into as tight of a dolphin as you can. And for some of you, you may be able to come in so much with your flexibility that you can actually place the head on the floor in the hands like you were in headstand. Then you can stay with that lifted spine, or you can try lifting one leg and then lifting the other and feeling what it would be like to be inverted with the legs over the head. You're basically there here in this posture. Okay, it takes a lot of strength to hold the shoulders in dolphin, so certainly take a break when you need to. And then the other option is to go into headstand. It's really important that you measure out those elbows and don't let them get too wide. It feels intuitive to have a wider base, but when the shoulder is in alignment with the elbow, we're using or relying on the bone strength more than the muscle strength, which gives us the ability to sustain that a little bit longer. So if you're going into headstand, do your measuring out, interlace, tuck the pinky finger in, head goes into that cup of the hands, tuck the back toes under, and come up into headstand. So legs reach overhead, press down through the forearms, create space in the shoulders. And now we're going to stay here. We're either in headstand, dolphin, or that rabbit pose. Breathe deeply. Keep the eyes open, soft gaze, and remember that perspective shift. And what's it like to see the world upside down? All the things we thought to be true, what if they were different? How would we react? If you're in headstand, keep that pressure down into the forearms so there's not too much pressure on the head. Breathe deeply here. Navel hugs the back body on exhalation. Keep breathing, nice and smooth. So when you're ready to come out, we're going to slowly come down and rest in child's pose. So don't lift the head, just forehead to the ground. If you prefer embryo, you can take embryo. Everything relaxing here. Don't turn the neck. And then bring the arms forward. You're going to scoop nose, chest, chin across the earth and come onto your tummy. So once again, if you prefer, you can do cobra, pubic bone, knees and feet grounded, hands in alignment with the tops of the shoulders. Inhale, you're lifting the chest halfway up, and just bring the forehead down for cobra now. And repeat. Inhale, the head lifts, activating the muscles in the back of the neck here. Exhale and come down, forehead relaxes. Or if you'd like, you can inhale and come up for cobra, lift the legs and reach the hands back behind you and come into this variation of locust. So we're keeping the shoulders away from the ears here. Head is lifted, and you're countering gravity with the muscles of the neck, so creating that hyperextension, but doing so with the strength rather than just with gravity. Breathe here. Continue to lift everything that can lift up off the earth if you're in locust. One more breath. And then as you come down, you're going to relax completely. Turn your cheek to one side and soften everything. Make sure the glutes are relaxed too. They tend to want to stay engaged. Now turn your head to the other side and do the same thing. Rest. Good. Hands are going to go underneath the shoulders. Sit tall on your heels. Absorb the tailbone in, lift the lower belly, rest the hands comfortably in the lap, and once again, find that calm, find the peace. And we'll take the hips to one side, legs out in front of us, and prepare for Ardha Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet are going to come together, knees out wide. If you'd like, you can bring your hands by your hips and wiggle your hips forward. You want to have an anterior tilt of your pelvis, so that means your pubic bone going towards the floor. If you need to prop your sit bones up on a blanket, please do so. You can hook either the index middle thumb around the big toe, so slightly shorter arms, that would help, or you can wrap your hands completely around your feet. Pull your heart forward through your shoulders, draw your chin in, lengthen the back of the neck. This time it's okay to close the eyes. Feel that tall, elongated spine, all that space. And now we're going to breathe into the spine fully. So as you breathe in through the nostrils, trace the breath as it moves down the front side of the body, past the throat, the heart, the bottom of the sternum, the navel center, and then all the way down to the pubic bone and the perineum. And then as you exhale, see that breath come back up. So from the perineum back up, the sacral bone, the bottom of the sternum, the heart, the throat, and back up to the third eye and out the nostrils. So again, you're just tracing the breath coming in through the nostrils, moving all the way down. Exhale from the roots all the way back up and out. Charging the spine with energy. Good, one more. Now, if you didn't have your index middle thumb wrapped around your big toe, you can do that here. You're going to lean back on the sit bones and bring the legs up and just balance with your core there. So you're creating that core stability. Again, so much of these inversions are supported by strong core, strong arms. And as we stay nice and firm here, back is pushing the heart towards the feet. So we're getting nice and flat there through the back to the best of our ability. And if you want to go a little deeper, you can open the legs out wide, bend the elbows, and once again, pull the heart forward just a little bit more. Nice, strong core. Keep hugging the navel toward the back body. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Bring your chest as close to the thighs as possible. And now lift your head, and if it's comfortable, look up at the heavens. Look up at the ceiling. So you're getting a slight back bend there. Reduction of that thoracic curve. Don't collapse the back of the neck. And then release the hands, keep the legs lifted, head to neutral, arms reach, and then very slowly bring the legs down and sit as tall as you can. If you want to wiggle the hips forward just a little bit, making sure the flesh is out of the way, you're going to inhale here. Arms are lifted. Exhale, Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. So just wherever the hands land, that's where you're meant to be. So shin, ankle, foot, floor, it doesn't matter. Head and neck is relaxed. Let the upper back soften. Now, as long as you have a grip on something, you can practice what is called a sthiti. So on the inhale, you're going to lift your chest away from your thighs. You're going to wiggle just a little bit forward, and then exhale and fold more deeply over the legs. Do that again. It feels like monkey pose. So you're inhaling, lifting the chest forward, creating a little more length and space, and then exhaling and folding over the legs just a little more deeply. One more with your breath, please. And then once you create that seal, you're just going to stay in the forward fold and breathe. Again, trace the pattern of breath as it moves all the way down to the root, coming back up and out. Smooth circular breathing. Quads are strong, so as the legs stay strong, the back of the legs are more likely to open. Don't tilt the feet in any way. Try to keep them even. If you've got a lot of flexibility, you can always wrap your hands around your feet and let your left wrist grab onto the left fingers grab onto the right wrist. Just enjoy this ability to really hug the body, to move inward, feeling that intimate connection to the self. Good. Last breath. Now to come up, try to get your arms in alignment with your ears. We really want to activate those back muscles. As you press down into the back of the legs, lift all the way up to standing, and then exhale, bring your hands down by your side, Dandasana staff pose, strong body, feeling engaged and stable, yet the residual effects of that deep flexion and opening we had a moment ago. Very nice. Now we're going to come onto our backs for our twist before we prepare for shavasana. But if you want to put sweaters on, maybe not socks quite yet, but sweaters would be good to do that now. And this way, shavasana, you won't have to move around quite so much after our deep twist. So scoot your hips forward, slowly come down onto your back, and hug your knees into your chest. And we're just going to make sure that the back is happy. So inhale the knees away from you to arm's distance, fingertips on top of the knees. Exhale the knees back to your chest. Inhale the knees away to arm's distance. And exhale the knees back to the chest. And a couple more here, inhaling, exhaling. Lighten the load on the fingers, let the core do more of the work. And then bringing your knees into your chest, straighten your legs, soles of the feet face the ceiling, take the arms up and over the head. And then exhale, bring the hands to the knees and the knees to the chest. Do that again. Inhale, legs straighten, soles of the feet face the ceiling, arms reach over the head. And then exhale, hands to knees and knees to chest. Just really taking care of the back body. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Keeping the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg long to the floor. Pull the knee in as close as you can and feel that little bit of compression there for the top of the thigh. Press the supporting leg away. Now, right foot directly on top of the left knee. You're going to take your left hand on the knee and guide the knee over to the left. And as you rotate over, you can pick your hips up and shift them behind you. And that will create a little less curve for the lower back. Now, if you need support for that knee, you can always make a fist with your bottom hand, or you can take your block and place it underneath the knee to just give yourself a little more height. Now, this right arm is going to reach over the head. So keep it on the floor, but reach the right arm over the head. And then as you exhale, bend the elbow like you're creating a goalpost arm and look over that right shoulder, deepening the twist. Sliding the hand across the floor again. Inhale, right arm up and over the head. So there's the lateral length. And then as you exhale, bend the elbow, gaze deeply over that right shoulder and feel the twist deepening. Keep going, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale the length, exhale, the twist deepens. 2 more, please. Working deep into that core, releasing any tension that might be left. And now exhale as you bend the elbow, gaze over the right shoulder, stay in that deepened twist. Breathe completely here, relax, let the body unwind. Letting go of tension, gripping. Feel the breath flowing effortlessly. One more here. And now slowly unwind. You're going to release back to center. You're going to need to square the body off on the mat again. And just take a moment to rest. Feet flat, knees bent. Feel the depth of that twist. So it's pretty powerful. And once you feel that the body's adjusted, extend the right leg long to the floor. Hug the left knee into your chest and get that little compression for the thigh again. Keep pushing the right foot away. Very nice. Left foot's going to rest on top of the right knee. And now your right hand's going to guide that knee over to the right. But as you do, pick your hips up and shift them behind you so it's not too much of a curve there for the lower back. If you need that extra support under the knee, make a fist or use your block. And then left arm opens up, take it over the head so you're sliding it across the floor. Elongate the side body and then exhale and turn your head to the left. Bend the elbow like you're making a goalpost arm and deepen the twist. Inhale, slide the hand across the floor again, elongate. Exhale, bend, twist, squeeze and wring out. Good, 3 more with your breath, please. Each time incrementally going deeper into the posture. Not through force, but through that repetitive release. And on the last one, we're going to stay. So when you go into the twist that last time, keep squeezing that elbow down and then relax into it. Smooth, even breaths. Keep letting go, soften. And then to come out, we're going to just very slowly release back onto your back. Again, you're going to need to square yourself off on your mat, so take your time there. Feet a little wider than hip distance, let the knees fall in, and just rest. So whole body feeling comfortable. Prepare for shavasana if you want to put your socks back on, if you're in a colder climate here. And then let the body relatively quickly adjust into your shavasana pose. If there's any sensitivity in the back, I recommend bringing the knees into the chest one more time, even before going down for shavasana, so we have that symmetrical pose. But you can use a bolster or rolled up blanket underneath your knees just to make sure that the back is happy. If you have a blanket you want to place over the body or an eye pillow you want to place over the eyes, it's recommended to reduce the light, as the light is a stimulant for the mind, stimulant for the brain. And then have your feet a little wider than hip distance apart. Have your arms down by your sides, palms face up. And then settle your body into the earth so that you feel like you're completely supported, like the ground is holding you up. And then observe all the points of contact. So starting at the heels, feel the heels connected. Feel how the earth is holding up the calves. Feel the backs of the thighs, that gentle pressure against the earth. The weight of the hips and the glutes as they're held fully by the earth. And the middle back. Feel the backs of the arms, so the shoulders, the upper arms, maybe a little bit of the forearms, and then the back of the hands, so the knuckles. Notice some of the upper back on the floor and then the back of the skull. All these points of contact. As you continue to relax, let the breath become very natural. So don't try to shape it or control it in any way. Observe the unique perspective of this place on the earth. The balance between earth and heaven, where the two meet, and that's where we live. And especially if you are on the physical earth, or as close to the ground as possible, there's a relationship that happens when we lay on the earth. Our electromagnetic field attunes to that of the resonance of the earth. And when we're attuned to that particular vibration, we are more in a state of health. As we resonate at that megahertz, somewhere around 6.8. This is a state of health for humans. And then feel that nourishment, that healing that comes from fully surrendering all effort. And notice how the mind then even releases its own grip on the body, its own grip on the breath. With each exhalation, feel yourself relaxing more deeply. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And as your breath deepens, start to notice the awareness coming back into this time and space. And begin to gently run the thumb across the fingertips. Wiggle the toes. And roll your wrists and roll your ankles. And without rushing, take your hands, interlace your fingers, bring your palms overhead and stretch like you're just waking up in the morning. And then bring the knees back into the chest and curl over into your right side into a fetal position. And just let the arm be under the head as a pillow. No strain, no stress. And then let the hand press down into the earth and slowly come back up into seated. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. If you'd like to prop your sit bones up for a few moments of meditation, please do so. And sit with a tall spine, relaxed body. Back of the hands can rest comfortably on the knees. Close the eyes. And feel your breath becoming stable and smooth. Returning to that circular breathing. The inhale flowing into the exhale, flowing into the inhale. Eliminating any jumps or catches or hiccups in the breath. And even any preference for a pause. Let all of that go and just come into that circular, smooth breathing. As you become established in that peaceful, stable breath, begin to notice sounds around you. Don't have to label them, just listen to sound. Now begin to observe sensation on the skin. Taking your attention to the very edge of the skin. And notice sensation. And bring your attention to your thoughts. Watch your thoughts without getting caught thinking them, without getting caught into a thinking pattern. Just simply watch the thoughts. If the mind gets caught in a thinking pattern, just return it back when you catch it. Return back to watching the thoughts. And then begin to observe yourself watching your thoughts. Observe the one who watches. Observe the observer watching your thoughts, watching you watching your thoughts. As you observe the observer, you move into a space where subject and object have become one. You are that which watches. Tada drashtuhu svarupe avastanam. Then the seer abides in itself. Then the seer abides in its own essence. So very slowly, begin to deepen your breath. Don't lose the awareness as you feel your physical body. Let your chin move down towards your chest and bring your hands to your heart. And just go back to the intention that we set. And trust that you received what you could receive and let the rest go. And remember, those perspective shifts, they can be a little scary. They also hold great possibility and potential. But when the awareness is within, when we tap into the essence we were just tapping into a moment ago, the true nature of who we really are, and no matter what happens around us, nothing can truly shake us. That is the greatest gift of these teachings. So with that, I offer the deepest gratitude to my teachers and my teachers' teachers and those that have come before me. I offer gratitude to lineage and to Guru Parampara. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you really enjoyed this practice and that it brought greater clarity and depth to what you've already been practicing. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Share this practice with friends and family that you know might be able to benefit from something like this. And in the description below, I have a link to my Patreon page. If you wish to join me in Patreon, there's different tiers that you can donate to help keep this free material coming, and also to gain access to a greater library that we have on this channel. So if that's something that interests you, I'd greatly appreciate your support, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Namaste.